Mana no kanji papalinch. Che chustenta ta kopuna pa ikuna masakta. Ah, claro que.
Divididos, podría decir.
Por 3, 4 mochis, no le das de comer otras cosas. Pone nomás.
How does one truly understand a landscape? To fully comprehend the community of living organisms that inhabit it, each relying upon one another. One piece of a tangled web of life that extends across the earth. In 2018, Mater Iniciativa, a research organization composed of cooks, anthropologists, researchers, agronomists, and artists, decentralized from Lima and moved to the Andes. At more than 12,000 feet above sea level, it's possible to see how one ecosystem merges with another. On one side, down below, is the coast, the desert, and the city. On the other is the Amazon, a vast network of rivers and forests. The Inca and those before them understood the power of this perspective. Their world was not linear. It straddled different altitudes. Each level provided them with a new way of living. On the terraces of Marai, where Mater's headquarters mill is located, these changes in elevation have long been studied. Tubers and other crops could be tested against unique microclimates and then filtered out into the hands of farmers throughout the length of the Andes. The Andean idea of verticality also extends to the region's human capital. Mill is part restaurant, part lab, and part community center. But Mater's work here is more than just a physical space. They aren't just studying the terrain, but are working with 2 Quechua communities and dozens of other small producers. Together, they share knowledge and ideas, trying to provide each other with a greater awareness of the biodiversity around them.
Virgilio started to go to Cusco and he got inspired by it, by how accessible it was to get to know the products, the producers.
I was looking for my avant-garde. I was looking for my innovation.
Virgilio had the idea that he wanted to know more about Peruvian ingredients. And when we were shaping what Mater Iniciativa would become, we started traveling around, and Cusco was the beginning.
It was inspiring me a lot to do things so meaningful, like going up there in the mountains, almost at 4,000 meters above sea level, just in the middle of nowhere, to put a restaurant there, to put an interpretation, a lab, to put Mater Iniciativa there, to bring about 40 people there to work together, and then to build a community.
At the beginning, it was very scientific. It was very much like, let's try and find as many ingredients as we can, the exotic ones, the ones that were going to be more attractive, more interesting, more curious. I wanted to get as much information as possible about nutritional components, about nutritional benefits, taxonomy, classification, and stuff like that.
To understand biodiversity, ingredients, to understand the role of gastronomy, and for me to understand the role of a chef.
Whenever we would meet with a producer or with somebody that was from one of these communities, we would get why something is important for them. Sometimes the stories were about how their family used them, how their family processed them. Sometimes it was about rituals. When the harvest happens, on where we are spreading the seeds, or when we have to pay tribute to the soil, to the Pachamama, or in the Amazon when they have to feed somebody that is sick. So there are a lot of stories.
Mill is not beside, but within the rural communities of Kaklurakai and Ulacas Mishmanai. The caretakers of this land, these indigenous communities are continuing the traditions of their ancestors. Mater is not there to tell them what to do or make decisions for them, but to work with them. They practice the ancient custom of Aini, a reciprocal relationship where everyone supports one another. No one is more important than the other. Each gives and in return receives something back. The concept isn't limited to people, but their relationship to the natural world as well. Aini is a living, breathing document that binds all in these communities and helps define the Andean way of life.
The Aini is something that comes from the Inca times, and it's about convoking the community to work for something or for someone. So it's reciprocity, and it's the fact that we as a community are going to be there for you as an individual. As you as an individual are part of the community, and that's why you should be an active part of the community. With the Aini, people from the community would apply, and they would make a committee, one for Cajiarakai, the other for Muyacas Misminay. And then they would work the fields when they have one president for each committee, so somebody that is going to guide them. That's the way an Aini works. Everyone votes, everyone has an input in the final decision, and it's a very democratic kind of thing. But there's also the sense of everyone is equally important. There's a lot of rituals that are linked to the work in the field. And because agronomy is very much embedded in the Inca culture, it was very important that we knew more about the work in the fields. And so we think we have learned a lot just by seeing how the dynamics work when it comes to work in the fields.
Just like a natural ecosystem, where each part relies upon the next, there is a human ecosystem at work at Mil. Everyone that is part of the project comes with their own histories, their own backgrounds and motivations. Their collective experience and diverse areas of focus are what make Mater Iniciativa's work here so distinctive.
Al principio entré a trabajar acá porque me ofrecieron trabajar en Mil y me pareció muy interesante trabajar acá, es por eso que entré. Pero es real, cuando entré a trabajar aquí, todo era verdad, lo que estaban comentando, que estaba interesante a trabajar porque era un apoyo a las comunidades y todo ello. Conectarme con nueva gente que viene de diferentes países y me enseña muchas cosas. Lograr aprender inglés y sueño con eso para aprender, para intercambiar con todos los clientes que vienen acá.
Manuel Contreras is part of the team of Mil, and he became an important part of the team because he's very creative, but also because he has a lot of resources. He is a passionate collector of plant species. His family, they were curanderos. They would use plants as medicine.
Se extraen más los botánicos, como es un cañazo de alta graduación, solamente 4 días, sí, para extraer las clorofilas. La flor es 2 días, tiene un trato más sutil, porque ya se nos oxida. Tenemos una receta estándar ya, pero va a depender mucho de la temporada. Por ejemplo, ahora las plantas aromáticas están un poco secas, entonces eso también depende, ¿no? Depende mucho de las temporadas. Pero sí, normalmente nos proyectamos para hacerlo una diaria, hacemos producción y vamos avanzando. Solamente en cócteles, porque la producción aún es pequeña. Las plantas son recolectadas, respetamos también mucho la temporada, entonces ahora, por ejemplo, hacemos focas y no podemos hacer una producción muy larga.
Like trees in the rainforest growing and climbing towards the openings in the canopy to find the sun, each person here is seeking out their own source of light. Mater has become almost like an incubator, bringing to life small, sustainable projects that align with each member's singular talents and passions. These curious undertakings are expressions of the region's biological and cultural diversity.
El cacao chuncho en sí viene es un producto local de la región de Cusco. Yo busco un chocolate que no solo sea amargo, astringente o dulce, ¿no? Sino ir más allá, que un cacao donde cuando tú la pruebes puedas percibir estos aromas que vienen a ser frutales, que vienen a ser florales, que vienen a ser frutos secos, cítricos. Cacao chuncho se caracteriza más que nada por ser un cacao rico en aroma y sabor. Es muy afrutado, tiene contenido, o sea, cuando tú lo pruebas puedes percibir notas a frutos secos, puedes percibir un poco lo que viene a ser cítrico. ¿Eso a través de qué lo obtenemos? A través de trabajar directamente de la mano con los productores, llevando el control de cada proceso. De nuestro chocolate preparamos producto terminado que va a nuestro Mater Sostiene, donde muchas personas que nos visitan pueden comprarlo. Y por otro lado también abastecemos en nuestra cocina lo que viene a ser elaboración para postres.
Using the same technology passed down to them from their ancestors, cultivated and refined over many centuries, the Andean people are able to accomplish astonishing feats that modern science cannot always fully comprehend. Their knowledge is a direct link to Peru's past, a tool for preserving history and biodiversity, and, when nurtured and encouraged, a way to craft the future of the country.
Manuel Choque, he's a very special person. I mean, as a person, as a producer, as an agronomist, as a technician, as somebody that is self-taught and somebody that was trained as any other farmer but has been doing amazing research by himself.
Manuel has another way to see things, and he's just providing just not beautiful ingredients and beautiful potatoes. He's just not providing beautiful ocas and mashwas and beverages. He's an inspiration for chefs. He's giving us more like a passion and knowledge, and this is more important because we can see this in the future. We have to work with this guy. When I met him, it's okay, your products are amazing, but I have to work with you, for the next 10 years. That's it. Because what you're doing is just fantastic. I know he has lots of future.
Hace 6 años yo empecé a emprender este tipo de papas. Por primera vez se ofreció al mercado acá en Urubamba, donde había un gran problema, que la población no entendía el concepto del trabajo que hacíamos. Había mucha gente que cuando empezaba a mostrar este tipo de pigmentos en la papa, pensaban que estaba malograda. Todos decían, ¿por qué este color está malograda? Que estaba enferma, que era una papa aguachenta, que no era rica como las otras papas. Hoy día tengo una alianza con Virgilio que es mostrar la riqueza que tenemos acá en el Perú. La idea es mostrar la biodiversidad que tenemos acá en el Cusco. Bueno, es como una vitrina que la gastronomía nos pone al mundo, de productos nativos, de productos que tienen mucha historia en realidad.
He has created 300 varieties of potatoes in the last 12 years because he has made manual hybridization of different plants.
Lo que nosotros hacemos es transferimos el polen de la planta A a la planta B. Empezamos a sacar el polen de la planta A acá en los estambres. Acá se encuentra el polen y empezamos a transferir directamente acá a la planta A. Entonces, esta es la metodología de obtener nuevas variedades de papa nativa. Hoy en día en el Perú tenemos más de 4.600 variedades de papa.
There can be more than one way to interpret a landscape. While a cook or someone from the culinary world might see things one way, those with another focus might have another point of view. Why shouldn't others come and see what they see here, to be inspired by what they are inspired by in their own way, and create something out of it. This diversity of perspectives helps build a stronger community and bring a greater balance among its parts.
We had this textile designer working with us. She wanted to create something with the community because she also wanted to learn something that they already knew, which was weaving and dyeing with botanics, the alpaca yarns. When she arrived to Cusco and she got to know the community of Cajiaracay around Mil, she understood how important the Apu, the mountain god, was, and how the colors of this mountain meant something because they would change with the season. So they decided to create a color palette, which was something different because these women weavers had already been changed by industrialization and by the addition of colorants that were not natural, of course. The project name is Warmi. Warmi means women in Quechua. With Warmi, we knew more about botanics. We knew more about colorants. With Valeria Figueroa, we had another idea of doing something else. They actually learned how to collect clay, which is incredible because it's another ingredient. It's like another product that is just around and that you can pick from different places and make experiments with that. We convoked people, and the people that would sign in for, applying for the kind of course, they would be so committed. They would bring clays from different places, even with the help of a donkey, because they really wanted to make this work. So it was incredible. So Virgilio's vision was to have all pottery items in Mil where we serve the food.
As it expands into new terrains, to new regions and continents, a wide variety of disciplines are not only sought out, but necessary to make the organization thrive and evolve. This growing network of people, complementing one another, embracing their strengths and acknowledging their weaknesses, are coming together to accomplish a greater understanding of the landscape. Collectively, they can dig deeper into the soil than ever before.
We have a very varied team as well. In the team, we have a photographer, we have an artist, we have cooks, and we have anthropologists, botanists. I'm sure no anthropologists have thought very much about working in a restaurant, but working in Mater, this actually makes sense. Mater Conexo is something we created to put a name on the relationship we would have with two communities that we have around Mil, Cajiaracay and Muyacas-Misminay, and the access that we can have to an Andean community right now, it's something that we care much because we know it's very precious and it's something very valuable. And it makes it easier for us to try and understand more about Andean culture too. So we not only get information from whatever there is outside, we also get an insight of what kind of living they have and what they envision in the future and what are the important things in their lives that matter. So I think we get a lot from that relationship.
Peru gives you this sense of nature and culture and traditions that probably we are just forgetting. And if you want to disconnect and to reconnect from your life sometimes, I think Peru is the best place to live. What we attract is very positive people. We attract people that is creative, that is looking for something different. And we need to get these people in a very good mood because they won't spend 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours here. Now they want to spend like 7 hours. This is a restaurant that is giving you an experience of a context, of a sense of place, different way to see gastronomy, different way to see fine dining. They have a lunch and they go to Mater Iniciativa, then they want to go to the farm, they want to meet the farmers, they want to meet the communities. We also want to communicate, this to more people in different ways. because this is what we do. Like, we're just not focused on the gastronomic experience. We're open to new possibilities.
From these platforms, we talk about, we have Central, we have Coye, we have Mayo, and then we have Mil. What we do here is we make people access what Peru is, and we make it visible for other people. Even for the people that are not coming here, we are communicating what Peru is. When we're talking about altitudes and ecosystems and natural systems and social ecosystems in Peru, we are talking about our culture, our country, and what we are working for. But we are talking to a very large audience. Because gastronomy has grown and has gained this importance, Virgilio can reach a lot more people now. It's very interesting that you can use gastronomy as a vehicle. It is incredible that gastronomy has reached to the point that is a way to convey messages that could be very important for people to receive and for people to just change the way they see things and maybe make different decisions.